Record.
Okay, we're recording. I want to welcome you all to the call tonight. I'm Michelle Weinstein, Advanced Director with the Pampered Chef. It's March 19th, and we're going to be talking tonight about fast track host coaching. And you will notice that I keep looking over here. My screen from my display is over here, and my iPad is here. So I have a script and I have an outline. So you too can be a director, okay? Because all you have to do is follow the little script. So you'll see me going back and forth. We don't do this off the top of our head as directors. We actually come up with an outline. So you'll see me going like this. So I want to welcome you all. Thank you for coming. And I want a quick show of hands. Ready? How many of you, when you book a show, put it in your calendar right away? And Erin, I can see you. How many of you, when you book a show, you put it in your calendar right away? I do. Does everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have to say because I have to. That's the only way I can see you. Why do you put it in your calendar right away?
Otherwise, I wouldn't show up.
Otherwise, you would never show up. If you don't have it in your calendar, chances are you're not going to show up. Okay, so same show of hands. How many of you actually do host coaching? You all do host coaching? You guys all know what that is? Someone speak.
Yes.
Okay, so Karen. Okay, Karen, what's host coaching?
It's how we work with our host before the show to help them have the best show possible.
Exactly. So if you do host coaching, does everybody have a system in place? I know Karen and I do because Karen taught me my system, and I might have given her little pointers 1 or 2 here or there, but we all have a host coaching system. Do you schedule host coaching in your calendar? This is where we speak, yes or no? Yes?
Erin said no. I can't see Kristen.
Okay.
Thank you for your honesty, Erin.
Yes, I do. Schedule
Okay.
it.
Who's yes, I do? Kristen?
Yeah, Kirsten.
Okay. So the point is, just like our shows that we schedule into our calendar, we want to schedule host coaching into our calendar as well, because host coaching is timely. We want to be speaking to our host at certain times between the time we book the show and the time the show is held. So it is very timely. So we definitely want to schedule that into our calendar as well. So you guys are on the call because you want to be a director. Do you want to have a lot of shows? I'm sure that has been covered. Making sure you have 8 booked at least every month in order to have a good many shows on your calendar. But do you want them to be good shows? People better not answer no. You're all answering yes, right?
They're nodding.
Okay, good. Maybe Karen, you're the only person that can see them because you're the administrator. So what makes a good show from a consultant standpoint? Shout something out, everyone. What makes for a good show?
Attendance.
Lots of people. Okay, what else?
Having fun.
Having fun. Yep, that should be number 1. What else?
Bookings.
You want to have a booking, or you want to have at least 1 or 2. You want to replace that show and have another show lined up to advance your business. Exactly. So bookings, what else? Do we want sales?
Yes.
So we kind of want to get paid for the show. Yeah, and we definitely want sales. And what else do we want? Why are we all on this fast track series? What's the other thing that we want from the show?
Recruits. Lots of recruits.
Recruit leads, exactly. So we want to have a lot of people at the show so that we have a good number of recruit leads at the show as well. So we good sort of recap of what we just talked about. Do we want outside orders from people who can't come?
Mm-hmm.
We want outside bookings from people who can't come. We want to partner with our host to help get some outside bookings. 10 to 12 guests in attendance. We want a varied group of people. We want people from all walks of life and all ages and all demographics at our shows. What other makes a good show is for the host to consider the business herself. And the one thing that I like is when the host doesn't serve too much alcohol. Okay? You know you're in trouble when they all come through the door with their own six-pack. Okay? Because you know they're there to drink and not listen to you. One or two is fine because they're still fun and having a good time. The whole six-pack's consumed before they leave the house that night means they don't remember a thing you said. So yeah, not too much alcohol. How many of you ever had another home party? Have some of you had another direct sales party? Yes, I have. Did the consultant give you catalogs and order forms and say, I'll see you on the 24th? Please make sure you have a lot of people there. Did she host coach you?
I got a couple of tips, but I didn't get much.
Okay, because I know you had a jewelry party in the last 10 years or so. And I had nothing for a very long time. So I haven't really, but a lot of us do in direct sales, we trade parties, or we are in, vendor fairs with other consultants who direct sales. And so we sometimes say, oh, okay, I'll do a Sensi party, or I'll do this. But I think that, that our company really puts a lot of focus on host coaching. I really can't compare it to a lot of other direct sales company. I only know what we do. So when you had that other party, did you even know where to begin with host coaching or calling people or inviting people to your party? Our company does have huge trainings on host coaching. Our consultants are probably the most trained consultants of any other direct sales company when it comes to host coaching. So tonight we're going to talk about host coaching with the purpose of moving forward for directorship. If you want to be a director, then having a host coaching system is vitally important. Here's a really scary question for you. I want you to all think about this. If Doris Christopher called you personally and said, we'd really like to keep you on, we'd really like to keep you with us, but in order to do that, we need to have 5 personally signed recruits within the next 30 days. Wouldn't that be scary?
Yeah.
Okay, so how would your host coaching be different than it is today? And it would be more intentional, wouldn't it? Don't you love your job? Don't you love this business? Would you leave it up to chance if Doris said to you, we'd like to keep you on, but you need to have 5 personally signed recruits before the end of the month? You definitely step up your host coaching. You definitely step up your out and abouts, but we're going to be talking a little bit about how we could keep that job if we wanted it with our host coaching. Listen, we all fall victim to the, oh, I have to get on the phone and do some host coaching, yuck. But actually, I look forward to host coaching more than any of the other calls that I make because the show is already booked. I'm calling for bookings. I'm calling to ensure a successful show. My host already wants me to come to her home. So hopefully I'm able to partner with her to have that be a very successful show. So let's take a look at the most important document of host coaching, the host coaching checklist. Did everybody print this out? Yes? No?
I have it.
Okay.
We go get it.
Who said that? Who
Me.
said I haven't? Then go get it.
Me.
I was on the fast call, on the fast tracker thing that we posted on the Facebook group. This is the only way that we know, and it's the most single successful, or actually, let me start back up. There is not one single successful consultant who does not use the host coaching checklist. If you don't use it, chances are you are not going to be successful for very long because you're going to forget about your parties. You're going to forget about who you talked to. You're going to forget about what recipe you did. You're going to forget about whether or not you gave your host or host packet. You're going to forget about, what you decided to make and how many outside orders she's going to get. When your show schedule picks up to the 8 that you're supposed to have to be on your way to directorship, it's going to be hard to remember all of this stuff. So the most successful consultants swear by these. Put a 3-hole punch in there.
Bless you.
Oh, yep, 3-hole punch. Who's that? I couldn't see who was sneezing. 3-hole punch and put them in a binder. And put them in a binder based on the day the show is held. flip through them. This is your diary of your successful business. This is your blueprint to a successful business. I print out 10 to 12 at a time, and I have them 3-hole punched in a host coaching binder. Okay, that's step number 1. Make sure you have a binder in the host coaching sheets. Bless you. Then make sure that every time you book a show, you fill one out immediately. Once you have a show schedule, remember, it's hard to remember. The second step, use it. Make notes on it. Ask the questions that are on here. Schedule a first call with your host to completely go over everything in one call. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on, how to host coach. This should have been covered when you were a brand new consultant. But I am going to spend some time on host coaching with a recruiting focus on it. So call 1, which is the longest one, can actually be done at the show that you give the host packet to. So you're at a show and someone decides that they want to have a show in April. You have your April host packets all made out. Okay, you give it to the guest that booked the show, and you say, okay, wonderful. Do you have a few minutes to stay a little bit longer because I want to go over this with you. So your longest call number 1 can actually be done at the show with the potential host so that you can go over everything right there with her. If she booked outside of a show, then you can schedule a call with her. But if she's booking at the show, go with her there while she's still excited about her party. She'll be more receptive to what you have to say if you do it while she's more excited about her party. So if you are scheduling call number 1 with your host, ask her to please have her packet ready when you call her. In this age of technology, it's so frustrating to catch a host when she's in line at the grocery store. Do you find that happening a lot? When you call a host and say, oh, I'd love to go over your packet, and she goes, oh, I'd really love to, but I'm in line at the grocery store. Can I call you later? She's not going to be receptive to anything you say when she's counting out her coupons. So she needs to have the packet in front of her in order to have a successful host coaching call. So you scheduled the call with her. The time is now. Pick up the phone, dial, and smile. I want you guys to try that if you've got your phone handy. Okay, look at the difference when you're picking up the phone and you're Michelle Weinstein with the Pampered Chef. Did you have your host packet ready? Versus, hey, this is Michelle Weinstein with the Pampered Chef. I'm just calling. Do you have your host packet ready? You guys can see me smile, but can you also hear the smile in my voice? It really does make a big difference whether they can see you or not, because they can hear the smile in your voice. So we know you've heard it before, but try it the next time you're on a host coaching call, or anytime you're on a call with a host or a customer. All right, here's a kind of a question for you too. Wouldn't you love to schedule an in-home cleaning with that vacuum cleaner salesman just because he's smiling when he has to? If he could come clean your rugs, you've all got those calls. Hi, this is so and so from KRIRBY vacuum cleaner. I'm wondering if I could come over and clean your rugs for you. We're doing free at-home demonstrations. You swore you would never let another vacuum cleaner salesman house, but when they're doing this and they're smiling, don't you want to invite them into your house? Yeah, we know you
I
do.
didn't just invite him in. I bought the vacuum.
Yeah, well, we know all about that. Okay, and then you sicked them on me. All right, so if your parties are fun, then the host knows you are fun because she's seen you at your party. So your host coaching can be just as fun. Don't start being serious just because you're talking about a serious subject. Have fun with it. Your host booked with you for a reason. From fun from your show into your host coaching. Again, when you smile, when you're talking, you make little funny jokes. It's okay because it gets the point across. Start your calls to your host by asking her why she booked a party. You need to know what the host booked the party for. What does she want from it? You'd be surprised if you knew that some hosts don't care about the free stuff, do they? They just wanted to get their friends together, and that's okay. That's a valid reason. Keep bringing her back to that during host coaching, the fun and the friends, because the free stuff obviously doesn't mean anything to her until it comes time to pick it out. Have her refer to the 40 guests in 4 minutes that you put in her packet. Did you guys download that from the Facebook page? This is a really important memory jogger. If you don't have it, ask your director for one. This is groups of categories that she may not have thought about. This is the starting point for her guests, for her invite list. So ask her, how's her guest list coming along? How many people do you have on it so far? Whatever she says, you can say, that's a good start. She can tell you she has 60 people on her guest list. And you can say, that's a good start, no matter what. Remember that host coaching is a conversation. It's not a homework assignment. So have her tell you as much as you tell her. I know I am really guilty of this myself. I tend to be talking at her instead of talking with her and asking questions. So if you kind of catch yourself doing that, stop and ask her a question that she can answer rather than just going full speed ahead. She's going to tune you out. Have her tell you how many people she's invited, and then you can expand that list for her. Whatever her reason for hosting, free products, let's say. You can say, that's a great start. I've been doing this for a long time, and I know that unfortunately not everyone will be able to come. So you let her know that you'll get the no's first, because those people have already checked their calendar and they know they're not available. Then I'll say, can we work on your guests a little bit to ensure that you have a really good crowd and that we have a lot of fun? Then ask her, what do you do for work? Do you go to church? Do you have any hobbies? Do you have any children? Oh, how old are they? And kind of talk to her about her kids and what they do, if there's any extracurriculars, school, sports activities. Then you can bring her back to, oh, soccer or football. Oh, I bet you know a lot of people there. Print some invitations, bring them out there, pass them around at the soccer field or the football field from people that are not on your Facebook group or you might not have email from. It doesn't matter how they get invited, just that they do. Suggest people from all walks of life for her, such as, wow, you work at a big insurance company. I bet you have lots of coworkers. Are you inviting them all? Don't forget everybody, because you don't want some people to find out that you invited this group of people and you didn't invite this people. They may find you at work on Monday to ask you why you didn't invite them, and you don't want to insult anyone, so invite them all. If she's a teacher or a nurse or has an occupation that puts her in front of a lot of people, encourage her to invite them all. Nobody ever gets insulted if they get invited to a party. Then you can say, don't forget to invite men. They love to eat, they love to cook, and they know that they won't be invited to another home party next month, so there's no budgeting for men. And remind them that everybody, isn't that true? Because for women, you know that you're going to a jewelry party one month and a cooking party one month and a party or a candle party another month. Men don't get invited to that many home parties. This is the one that men will actually attend. And the other thing about men, they have deep pockets because they don't comparison shop like we do. We don't go to a store or one of these parties and say something like, oh, I know I can get that cheaper somewhere. Men don't do that. They go, see it, buy it, want it now, and they get it. So definitely encourage them to invite men to their parties. And then this is where it gets probably a little bit of different angle than what you were taught in your training. Ask your host, who do you know who might need some extra income? Is there someone you know that's been looking for a new job? Everybody has friends that don't like their job. Everybody who has friends that need some additional income. Everybody has friends that are putting their resume here and there for one reason or other. Make sure that your host is inviting those people. Ask her, do you know anyone who's home all day with their kids and might like a night out 1 to 2 nights a week? Ask her, is there anybody who might need to pay off student loans? Or do you know anyone who's saving for retirement that we can help by inviting them to your party? Giving her these categories is sure to help with the brainstorming process. Do you see, if we don't just say, invite a lot of people and make sure that some people who might need a job are coming, you're actually giving her the categories of people. So if she's sitting there going, no, I don't know anybody who's paying off student loans, but I do know some people who are nearing retirement and need to save for retirement. So suggest these categories to her. Also let her know why you're asking her to consider these people. You can say something like, as you know, I'm a recruiter. as well as a consultant. And one of the best parts of my job is letting others see what's possible for them if they need a night out or extra income. So please don't ignore inviting someone because you feel that they don't have any extra money. They still need a fun night out at your party, and this job may be just what they're looking for. And you can be helping change their lives like it changed mine. Now, at this point, you can even consider offering your host a referral bonus. If she refers someone to you or invites someone that she introduces to you before the party as someone who might want some information, you can offer her like a $25 recruiting bonus. And how this works is if her friend signs on with you on your team, then if she referred her friend, she'll get $25 to spend at her friend's first party. Incentives usually work. They work for consultants. They can definitely work for your host to kind of get those ideas in her mind. And then if she knows there's something in it for her as well as her friend, she's more likely to give you a name or a referral. So once you've gone through her list of invites and asked to include people from all walks of life, you can then review the host benefits for her, what she'll get for free, and ask what excites her the most out of everything that you just told her with the host benefits. This is the best time to bring up the opportunity for her, the host. You can say something like, along with all the free products you earn, you can actually use some of that free product value to get a discount on a starter kit. And make sure there is a kit credit coupon in her kit. Did you guys all print those out? I put them right here. I don't know how you guys do your host packets. It doesn't have to be as fancy as this, but I buy these when they go on sale at Staples. On the left side of my host packet, this is all about the business. You should be putting one of these in every single host packet and not just hoping she looks at it. This is just a flyer about the different kind of consultants that we're looking for. You can put the sign-on bonus for the month that you're hosting a show in there if you like. But this is the kit credit coupon. Okay, everybody, and this is what you want to be referring to her during your first host coaching call with her. You can say something like, "Did you see that coupon in your host packet?" Letting her know that she can actually cash in that coupon and get a discount on either the big or now the mini kit by using some credit. Let me ask you a question. Would you forget to tell her about her half price items that she's earned? No, you wouldn't, would you? You'd tell her about her free stuff. You would tell her about the half price items that she's earned. So why aren't we telling her about one of the best benefits that she gets as a host? The ability to get the starter kit at a discount. Okay, don't gloss over it. Here's one really good reason to remember to do this. If you have a host and you don't let her know that she can get the starter kit at a discount with her host benefits, 6 months down the road, if she decides to become a consultant because the time is right, she might find out about that host discount or that host benefit and say to you, "Karen, when I hosted with you back in April, why didn't you let me know that I had that discount? Why didn't you let me know that there was the ability to get that kit at a discount?" And wouldn't you feel bad that you hadn't offered her that discount at that time? Okay, you don't want to feel bad. It's one of her benefits. It's just as important as her half price items. You should be pointing this out to her when you're going over her your kit with her host packet. Most consultants were, or you can say to her, most consultants were hosts first. Have you ever considered doing what I'm doing? This would be the perfect time because this is the only time you'd be getting a discount on your kit. And I'd be giving you all the bookings from your friends at your party to get you started. All I ask is that you watch what I do at your show and see if you can picture myself in your shoes, picture yourself in my shoes that night. She may say no right away, planted, hasn't it? You've got her thinking about it. You have to know too that our host is our most reliable recruit lead. She already loves the products, doesn't she? So she is our most reliable recruit lead. Then you go on to call number 2, which you schedule with your host at the end of call number 1. You can say, "Is it okay if I call you Monday at 7 o'clock? Just to kind of check in with you and see if you need more." or, additional order forms or whatever. So you schedule call number 2 with her and put it in your calendar as well. So on call number 2, you review her guest list again. Find out if she has added any others to her list and ask again about anyone who might have an interest. Between call number 1 and call number 2, I can guarantee you if you've done a thorough call number 1, the wheels are turning in her mind. Oh yeah, there's that $25 referral bonus. Who can I find to come that might need some additional income? Who can I help by offering them about the business? So you can ask about their friends. What's their name? Can they come early? Remind her again about the $25 referral bonus that you offered. At this point, you can also ask her about outside bookings. I find it easier to give the host the words to say. Do you guys do any of that? Do you offer a referral for outside bookings? I do. I can only see Karen, but I'm assuming everybody else does. And again, this is not a requirement, but it's just an extra little incentive. And I give a $5 bonus for an outside booking. Would you guys pay a $5 for a booking? I certainly would. Look at all of the commission that you can make off of a show. And I put right in my, and apparently I put it somewhere else. I put right in my host packet the letter that I hope you guys downloaded from the Facebook page about, here it is. I put it on green paper. Okay, there's a coupon at the bottom. And it starts by saying, I can't wait to party with you and your friends. And it talks about the host rewards, talks about the half price items, but it talks about the fact that I'm giving her my own special. And it gives her the words to say when someone says they can't come to her party. And she said she can say, so sorry you can't come, but you can have your own party. I'll have my consultant call you. And then I let my host know that I have 2 or 3 hosts every month who have names waiting for me when I get to their party. So that sets the expectation that this is a common thing. And then I let her know how she benefits by getting one of these coupons for every party that's booked outside of her party. We all know we can get bookings inside her party from people who are in attendance, but I wanted her to be excited about this coupon. And how the coupon works is for every outside booking that comes from her party that she's helped with, she's going to get $5 off when their friend holds their live party within 30 days. And I uploaded that to the Facebook Fast Track page so you can kind of see that. So I talked to her about the outside booking, and I affirm that this is for bookings that she gets before or after the show from people who can attend. Okay, so why do we want to make sure that we have an abundance of bookings? Obviously, we can get bookings at our parties, but offering a small coupon to the host will ensure that she not only looks to invite people who may be interested in the business, but helps us maintain a full calendar. And here's the reason why. And Karen and I were just talking about this before you guys got on the phone. As new recruiters, a lot of times we're kind of bummed when we do a party that has 3 bookings. Yay! And then the host decides to become a consultant and we give her those bookings. Boo, right? But it's not really boo, but we might be feeling that way if we don't have a full calendar. So holding and keeping a full show schedule means that we won't have an empty calendar when we recruit the host and give her all those bookings. Yes, Karen.
I was going to say there's another great reason for the host getting outside bookings. Not only if the host doesn't sign do we've got plenty of bookings, but a host is much more likely to sign if you can say to her, look at all these bookings you have. If you can practically hand her the start to a business, it's almost irresistible to say, why wouldn't I just give this a try?
Exactly, because it makes it a lot easier for her to say yes. So we also ask her to keep in mind long distance friends and family who can't come. We ask her who they know on their email or Facebook list who would be good at what I do or might need some additional income. And I tell her, don't overlook people who work full time. She may know someone who hates their job or just doesn't make enough to cover the bills. And if they only did 1 party a week, made an extra $400 a month, that would cover their car payment. You know, anybody, even people who work full time, can find time to do one party a week. So then we conclude with call number 3, and we ask the host again if she had looked at the information and given any thought. So every single phone call or every single time we touch base with her, we ask her again, so I know I already asked you before, but, you know, I'm probably going to ask you again, you know, have you given any thought to maybe doing what I do? Or did you find anybody who might be interested so you can get that referral bonus? I find that if you soften it with, this may not be for you, but it may be for someone you know, then she doesn't feel that it's going to be the focus of every single conversation. Don't you want to become a consultant? How many of you said no the first time you were asked? Most people do. Most people do say no the first time they were asked. So make sure you are doing all you can also to avoid cancellations. It's been a rough winter in New England, and we all had cancellations due to weather or illness. I mean, we've all done that. But how many of you have had cancellations because the host just could not get enough people there, and she was very discouraged, and she felt like a loser, and she had no friends? And did you feel bad for her? I mean, you felt bad for yourself because you just lost out on a night's work, but didn't you really feel bad? Those hostesses that are just so disappointed, and they go, "Oh, nobody wanted to come. I did my best. I did what you said, and like, I guess nobody really likes me." Now, aren't you feeling really bad for her? We don't want that to happen. But sometimes the shows get canceled because she forgot to invite. So what we like to do is we like to make it easy on our host to invite. Here's what I do, and I'm sure most of you do that too. We do her Facebook event. So what I like to do, and I just found out this recently, by the way, I used to friend her and then set up her Facebook event and then invite her as the host. But what I found was those invitations or those events were being posted to her friends with my name first because I set up the event. It took me a little while to figure this out, but if she sets up the event and I tell her, just set up a quick little generic event and then invite me as the host, and I'll go in and pretty it all up, then her name is first.
That's a good idea.
So yeah, try that. I'm sure you guys, you know, do her Facebook event for her. And then the other thing that I do is I have a template of an email invitation, and I know Karen does, and I know a lot of us do, that I personalize for her, and I put the URL from her show page into there, and I send it to her, and I ask her to send it to all of her friends by email, just to forward. And I also ask her to print out 10 or 12 copies, so when she's at the softball field or the football field, she can just pull one out of her bag and say, oh, by the way, I'm having a Pampered Chef party, hope you can come. Okay, so if we make it easy for her, oh, also send her a sample text that she can use. I'm not too savvy on that just yet. But if someone's too savvier than that likes to do those red stamp invites or texts, or I haven't gotten into that yet, you're more technologically advanced than I am, feel free to share that. But if we send her the email invitation, if we put up the Facebook event for her, and then we do a sample text that she can use, she's more likely to just whip those out to people. And the beauty of that is on Facebook, we can see how many people she's invited. But I also let her know, again, what's likely to happen if she just relies on Facebook. All of us have a lot of friends on Facebook. All of us have a lot of events going on Facebook. All of us have missed events because we haven't paid attention to the events on Facebook because we've got so many other things that we're paying attention to on Facebook. It's a very disappointed host when she's invited all 299 of her Facebook friends and only 3 have responded. So prepare her for that. Let her know that that's not the ideal way to invite, but that it should be a layered effect text, email, Facebook, personal invitations, and handing out those invitations that you've sent her to print out. Some successful consultants even send out the postcard invitations for their hosts. I know this because I did this 10 years ago when all we had was postcard invitations. Think about it. If you're sending out the invitations, you know the show will hold because there's no host saying, I forgot to send out the invitations. So it's up to you, no matter how they go out. Make sure the host has a varied guest list with all of those different categories we talked about. Okay, so that talks about how to invite, who to invite. Now, please make sure that you call your host on call number 3. Make sure she has a firm head count and that she has contacted or reminded everyone she's invited. Give her the words to say for follow-up. And what I do is if she's invited on Facebook or if she's invited on email, I type a little private message to her that says, hi, it's Stephanie. My party's coming up on Monday and we haven't heard from you. My Pampered Chef lady asked me to get in touch with you to find out how many people we're feeding so we can plan our recipe. Are you coming and how many friends are you bringing? You get a free gift for each friend you bring. I copy that into a private message to my host and I say, all you have to do is copy and private message this message to all of the people you haven't heard from. If you've heard from them and it's no, we know it's a no. If you've heard from them and it's a yes, a reminder is a good thing. It's the people we haven't heard from that we want to contact. Because if we don't have a firm head count and you're only expecting 8, I will bring 8 catalogs and I will bring 8 order forms. And if you have 15 people there because 7 people didn't RSVP, we're going to run out of food. We're going to be running out of order forms. We're going to be running out of catalogs. And a host who's entertaining in her home does not want to run out of food. So if you give her the words to say and you give her the reasons why it's important, she's more likely to do it rather than just saying, oh, give everybody a call. We need to know. And she's going to feel like a pest unless you give her the reasons why. Does that make sense to everybody? Mm-hmm. Okay.
The bad guy because I didn't do my job. I was like,
What's she say? I can't hear her.
Something about she didn't do her job.
She didn't do her job. Right. And we want to make sure she has a successful show. So that's the host coaching leading up to the show. We are now at the show. And guess what? We're still host coaching. It doesn't end until we press send, as we like to say. So you want to get there a little early and you want to ask the host, hey, so who's coming? I know you had mentioned your friend Julie might be looking for some additional information. Did you ask her to come a little bit early so she can ask me any questions? Or is it Julie who you said might be looking for a job? Do you think she'd like to be my assistant when I'm doing my demo? So she can see how easy it is. And the host knows her friends. She might say, oh yeah, Julie, she's not afraid of getting up in front of people. Yeah, ask her to help out. So that when Julie comes in and the host introduces me or I'm doing my name tags, I go, you're Julie. I hear you like to help people cook. Would you like to be my assistant? And she's more likely to because obviously the host has built her up to you. So if she'd like to be your assistant, having hosts or guests get their hands on the products is critical, not only in selling the products, but letting them see how easy our job is. They get to see it from a different angle, different viewpoint. And this is just a little aside, but one of when I'm doing my Q&A or when I'm having people ask me about my job, or when I'm telling people the hesitations that I had when I first got started, what I like to bring up is that I was very shy. Yes, I know it's true. I was very shy, and that one of my hesitations was getting up in front of people. But what I said was that what I found was when I'm getting up in front of people, people aren't looking at me. They're looking at what I'm doing. And I'm saying this to a group of people who I'm preparing a recipe for. And I have them raise their hands. I said, tell me, were you watching me Or were you watching what I was doing? And everybody says we were watching what you were doing. So that puts that right back out into the, don't be so shy to get up there, because as much as you think you're all that and they're watching you, they're watching what you're doing with the products. And I could see some people at my show last night go, yeah, you're right. Kind of the light bulb moment with them when you point that out to them. So we're talking about having people come up and try the products, about having an assistant. So, and then of course you guys all know how to do your Q&A at your show. After the show, the host coaching continues, and hopefully by this time you'll have identified at your full service checkout those people who want to bring information home. If they weren't red flags at your show, they're going to be definite red flags, or even more, when they come up to do their full service checkout with you, because I'm sure there's going to be a whole segment about full service checkout during the fast track program. So I want you all to make sure you're using the survey slips that you downloaded a few weeks ago. This is the one where, hold on. This is the one where it has their information at the bottom, and it has the 1 through 10 at the top, where they're putting their, oh, now I see everybody, where they're putting their interest in whatever it is. It's nice to have these at the full service checkout, but don't rely on them. Last night, I passed all of these out right before I was getting ready to do my full service checkout, and I know I have to put this in a different place in my show now, because people were eating what I was making, and by the time they came up to me at my full service checkout, nobody had even collected these, which sometimes is a good thing, because it forces you to do a full service checkout with everybody. But there's a question on there that says, if the host becomes a consultant or starting the business, would you be interested in doing a show for her? After the show, what you want to do is point out to the host that 4 people said yes. You are pretty much, like Karen said earlier, handing the host her own business. You can say, wow, 4 people want to have parties. Wow, I know you had been thinking before, but does this make it any easier for you to decide that you want to do this? You have 4 friends that would have parties with you. If nothing else, that's going to get her to make a decision, or even think even more seriously about it, because she saw how easy her job was, and she also saw that 3 or 4 people would be interested in having shows for her. So, yes.
I was just going to say, even if the host was a flat out no before,
Mm-hmm.
you can say, I know that you said no before, but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't let you know.
Right.
Here's how much you would have made tonight, and here's how many of your friends want to book. Because a lot of times when they see that their own family and friends are excited about the products, are buying them, and are booking parties, they were saying no before because they didn't think they knew anybody who'd want to have a party. All of a sudden, they're like, oh, really? So even if they were a flat out no, share that information with them. A lot of them change their mind at this point.
Exactly. Okay, so then after you ask her again, you're going to review her total sales, tell her where she's at, and let her know what her income would have been if she had done the show that night. That's very telling too, because even on a $500 party, I mean, she's still making $90 for what? For, just doing something with a food chopper and making zucchini linguine in 6 minutes in the microwave. You want to include the credit coupon again when telling her about the free product value. Ask her again, you have $115 worth of free products. Would you like to apply this coupon? I love that. Would you like to apply this coupon for a discount on the kit? When you're figuring out what you want for free, remember that you have that coupon that you can apply, which sounds so much nicer than saying, do you want to get some money off your kit? Would you like to apply your coupon? I can guarantee you by this time you will have certainly given her a lot to think about, and her answer may be different than the first time you asked. I have to tell you about a consultant who's still on my team. I asked her many times. She had a $1,000 party. I'm on the phone with her typing in the products that she wanted with her $215 worth of free stuff. And she's saying, oh, the slicer, it was the mandolin and the food chopper and the bar pan. And I said, you do know that those are the products that are in the kit. She goes, you know what? Strike that. Let's just apply that kit credit coupon. And she became a consultant. She's still a consultant. So right down to the wire, she was still considering it, and then she decided to do it. Here's another thing that you might want to consider. You want to consider sending a handwritten thank you note to your host, a handwritten one to your host the day after the party, and include something like, we had so much fun, and I can't wait to see what you'll get on your shopping spree. You know, you'd be a natural at this. I can't wait to hear if you're thinking of joining my team. So a handwritten note goes a long way, doesn't it? So that's pretty much as far as host coaching with a focus on recruiting. Again, your host is your #1 recruit lead. You're asking your host to partner with you in finding out if any of her friends would be interested in doing what you do. Obviously, you're doing it at your shows. You've all been trained on how to recruit at your shows. But I love having the host partner with you. Definitely letting her know right in the beginning. Don't be afraid to put a recruiting bent on everything when you're host coaching. A lot of times people say, I don't want to keep talking about it because she's going to think that's all I'm talking about. You know what? She's having a party for a lot of different reasons. And someone said it on the call, tonight you wouldn't be doing your job if you weren't inviting her and telling her what the benefits would be. So here's the challenge, and then we're going to open it up to questions. My challenges are very easy. I want you to email your director with 3 things you are going to implement in your host coaching. And I don't want one of them to be start host coaching, because hopefully you've already done that. I want you to post on the Fast Tracker page 1 thing, or maybe 2 or 3, that you're going to implement. It's called holding each other accountable. And then within 7 days, I want you to post back on the Fast Track page how it went and what your results were. So that's a pretty easy challenge, I think. So now we're opening it up to questions or concerns or what you're thinking.
I want to add something real quick. Don't forget that the ongoing challenge is also to keep up and be doing 1 to 2 interviews each week. If you don't have a new lead to interview, a mock interview with a family or friend or coworker is acceptable. And the other thing, there were 2 other things I just wanted to add about host coaching. 2 other really important reasons why you want to be the best host coacher you can possibly be. Number 1, most of the people, or a great number of the people that we recruit are our hosts. If we don't host coach them, they will think it's not important. And if they don't host coach, they're not going to have a strong business. Secondly, if you are partnering with your host and working side by side with them to have a great show, and they're appreciative of that, it's such an easy extension to say, you know, we don't sign you up, a patch on the back, and wish you luck. Just like I've worked with you to have the best show possible, you know, I'm going to be working with you to have the best business possible. And so if you've developed that relationship and you've helped them expand their invitation list, you gave them ideas that worked, they're thinking, wow, this person really knows what they're doing, so they probably could help me have a really successful business too. So those are just 2 other reasons that don't often jump out at people, that it's really important to do the best you can with the host coaching. Okay, so now who's got questions or comments?
Well, that means, Karen, if they don't have questions.
They're all muted, I can see.
I know they can see.
Hey, Michelle, can you post the homework assignment to the page?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
So I know you all know about host coaching because it shouldn't be brand new to anybody, but what were some things that really jumped out at you that you said, ooh, I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it that way, and that way could make a real big difference?
I like the new things for the packet, for the host packet.
Yeah, the
I
coupon.
love the referrals. That's a great idea. I didn't have that before. That's going right in my host packet.
All right, good.
I also put 10 reasons why you should host a show in my packets.
Okay, good. Okay. Anybody else get anything that they thought, oh, I haven't been host coaching quite that way. That's a good idea.
I like the handwritten note afterwards. I did send a card to one of my hosts after the show, but I think that would be a really good idea to do that on a regular basis.
Don't you love to get handwritten notes? Don't you feel like if you get a handwritten note, someone took the time
To write
to
it.
sit down and think of you and write a handwritten note? I mean, I think
Yeah.
lends so much more validity to what you're saying.
Yeah.
I
You do that.
And even if
instead of putting 3 hole punches in my host tracking sheet, I put them in sheet protectors, and then I put, if I had a booking slip for that host, I put that in the protector, and then I put a thank you note immediately in the protector as well. So it's like my little host packet. So as I do my host coaching, I write notes on my sheet, and then when I'm done my show, I have everything that I need, including that thank you note, so that before I file my paperwork, I just fill out the note and put it in the mail.
That's really good, so that you know that you've done it, and so you sort of put that all together with your host sheets, right?
And I added it on my host coaching sheet. On my host coaching sheet, I actually added a box that says send thank you note, so I can check it off when I've done it.
Now we all have access to that, which is great.
Yeah, Mel just uploaded the host coaching checklist that she kind of revised.
Yeah.
So you guys can see what she's talking about. So thank you for doing
even
that.
if the thank you note doesn't get the host to sign, I think it builds customer loyalty when you took the time to do that.
Yeah.
Time that they want to order again or have another party, they're going to think of that person who took the time to write that.
Yeah. And you know what I really like too? I like the fact that Michelle, you talked about sending a follow-up text or note for the host to send to their friends that they haven't heard from. I like that. I'll have to figure out how to write one.
Well, a lot of time, and again, you can word it any way you want to, but once you have it down, you can kind of send it as a template. But if we just ask the host to get a yes or no from all her guests, she sometimes feels like she's being a pest, because I've had hosts say to me, well, if they wanted to come, they would have responded by now, which is not the case.
Right.
Chances are they forgot, or they never got the invitation, or it went to their spam or their junk. So if you let them know that just because they haven't responded doesn't mean they don't like them, and give them the reasons why they should be following up, they're more likely to do it, especially when you give them the words to say.
Yeah.
It makes it really easy for them.
Yeah. And they read them and they go, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that. Yeah, I can say that. And then they just
Like that.
yeah.
Does anybody else have any comments or
I need to re-listen.
Comments?
I need to re-listen again.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, there's a lot of information there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Michelle, for awesome training.
You're welcome. 9:30 on the dot.
I know. It's
Wow.
so perfect with the timing every time. She's dead on. Dotting I's and crossing T's. Okay, so have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you.
And I think a couple of you are getting pretty close to the big D. Woohoo! So keep going.
Awesome.
We want to be cheering on that Facebook page for you guys, so keep us all posted.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, good night.